Marv Harrison, joined by Betty Girardin and Monsignor Burns, and we want to take you on a very exciting adventure on this edition of the Adventures Travel Club television show. As you can see from the view behind me, we are in beautiful, green, and sunny Ireland. So what do you say? It's away we go with the Adventures Travel Club in Ireland.
We're now on the Ring of Kerry. It's such a beautiful place, and we're heading, of all places, to somewhere where they sell illegal booze.
That's right. They call it poteen. It's homemade booze. And let's sort of sneak up on the scene right here as we listen to Ray, our guide, for a moment.
And you see all the goats and hog. Now, the guy that makes the poteen is the guy with the blue shirt here, on the right with the white sleeves, and he's not normally here now. He's usually away, and the guy with the yellow jumper is the guy who sells it to you, and he's the guy who runs all over the place looking. He has them hidden everywhere and anywhere. Huh. It's £6 a bottle.
£6 a bottle.
Yeah.
What do I ask for?
I was just telling you you're looking for a bottle. You don't say nothing, just a bottle.
Betty, did you taste that poteen?
I did. It burned my tongue. It was potent.
It's homemade hooch. Now, here's
Yeah.
the guy, and you can see he's kind of clutching it kind of safely there, but look where he keeps this, in the back of his car. He's
No
really...
overhead.
No!
But
He's a traveling salesman,
yeah.
huh?
Well, it's really funny. He makes it seem like it's so secret, but when you see the setups there,
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
pretty well know that
Yeah,
this
look, he's
isn't
slipping
organized.
a small bottle to Ray right there,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's very well organized, because here we were stopped, and then right behind us, they pulled up a bigger coach, and there were a bunch of... he's just spotting them now. See, there's
Here we go,
German
huh?
tourists that are coming in there.
Now tell me, Marv, at £6, that's about $12. Close to $12, isn't it?
A little bit more, because
A little more?
I think it was 1.67 was the exchange
Oh.
rate, so it'd be a little bit more than that.
But of
yeah.
course, it's so strong, you get your money's worth.
Woo,
You
I
can
guess.
dilute it.
And keep it for a long time,
Yeah.
I suspect.
Some of our people bought some.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, it's like if you're going into Kentucky or something, you can buy some moonshine. I suspect you'd do it, wouldn't you?
Yes, that's absolutely true.
And this place, Betty, is really set up for photographs. And of course, this wonderful gentleman here with the wonderful face there and the windswept hair.
Yeah, just like you'd think you'd see in Ireland. It looked like Earl there was trying to make a bargain with him.
Maybe he was.
Maybe he was. Yeah.
But wasn't this a gorgeous place? I mean,
yes.
if you've got a camera, you certainly want to take some pictures here, because this is just beautiful. And there's water, the streams coming down here. Just absolutely fantastic.
Fisherman's paradise, it looks like.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That's probably why we had so much wonderful salmon,
Yes.
as a choice for dinner each evening.
And it was there almost every night on the menu. Such a treat.
And I want you to know I took advantage of it every evening.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of
Well,
it.
it's so expensive here to buy.
I know, but it certainly was wonderful there.
Yes.
Well, Betty, let's get back on the bus and go along.
We won't mention where this place is. Because I can imagine if that goes out in television over in California and the customs and excise guys are watching it and they say, oh yeah, we better make a trip over to the Ring of Kerry. And yeah, over on the far side there you have the beach, which was in Ryan's daughter. The beach is in Inch. A poor farmer coming down the road now. You see? The donkey cart. He's heading for the village to do a bit of shopping.
Marv, were you as amazed as I was at the beauty of these homes? And
Yes, Betty. And the new homes that were being
Yes.
constructed, and the beautiful gardens on an awful lot of them.
no thatched roofs.
No,
Not on these homes.
I don't think so, but a lot of brand new buildings there, of course, as you can see. Betty, a German bus got in front of us, and Ray was having little problems there because he wanted him to move. Let's see what's happening.
For him to look out, he has to pull out, too far for him to get a look down the road. It's not like me, I can just look out and I can see. But he has to come way out.
Of course, Betty, on this German bus, which is in front of us, the driver is sitting on the left-hand side, and of course driving on the other side of the road.
Makes it a little difficult, doesn't it?
It does.
Marv, it looks sort of scary when we're looking at it at this perspective, but everybody drives very carefully.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, you
there's-
have to. Those roads are
Yes,
so tiny.
That's right. So you don't really have to be fearful of
Oh,
the
no,
traffic,
no.
you know.
No, it's just I think Ray was a little impatient.
Well, yes. He had a load of people that wanted to get going.
You're right. And of course, it was so wonderful because I liked it because when he slowed up like this, I could get some better shots of some of these little villages.
Oh,
you
the
know, that we're going
villages
through.
are just wonderful.
Aren't
Uh-huh.
they?
I just think they're so charming. I would love to spend more time in those villages.
Well, when you go back next year, maybe we'll have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
There's so much to see in this
Yeah.
country.
Well-
It just amazed me. And look, there's a palm tree again. Now
Yeah.
remember, we saw palm trees over on the other coast as well.
And look at the church. Isn't
Yeah.
that just dark?
Yeah,
And the
everything
rock,
is so
hmm?
picture postcard. Well, let's
Yeah.
see what Ray, if he gets around this guy, shall we?
This tractor and trailer, will you go on? Oh, you understood me. Hooray, hooray. That mountain, as you see ahead of us, that's the Sail Fin Mountain.
Some mountain. In California, we'd call that a hill.
I think so.
Not a
It's
mountain.
Just a little over 1,000 feet high.
Yeah.
But there is another castle
Yeah.
off there in the distance.
ABC, another bloody castle.
That's absolutely right.
And there you have, of course, I told you that was the Dingle Peninsula, which is on the far side there. And this, of course, is Dingle Bay, Dingle Bay, Dingle all the way. It's a very, very beautiful view here, and I mean the Dingle Peninsula is quite a spectacular drive also. That takes a day to do as well.
Betty, next June when we go back to Ireland, could we do the Dingle Bay Drive?
Sure. Are you reading my mind? That's just exactly what I was thinking. It's so beautiful. I have seen it myself.
Oh,
And
you
it's-
have?
Yeah, and it's sort of like Monterey, only more spectacular.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'd be looking forward to that, and that'll be next June of 1991.
Yeah.
Can hardly wait.
Just in there, see that ruin? We're going back to 1775. He was born in 1775. Daniel O'Connell. And they're building a new road, as you can see, just at the back of the house. We'll be coming into Carsaibeen very, very shortly. The village of Carsaibeen. Car means the chair. And, well, Savine, I don't know what Savine means, but I suppose the chair of Savine. This is the church here now, on your right hand side. Yeah, the Catholic church, and it's named after Daniel O'Connell. And as I said, all that stone was brought up from the north of Ireland. All the granite. Oh, it is. It's a decent-sized village, yeah.
Daniel O'Connell, a very important figure in Irish history.
Yes, well beloved by the Irishmen.
Beautiful little town right here that we're going through, and this, of course, was his birthplace.
And that piece of land that you see out there is Valentia Island. And Valentia Island is where they laid the first transatlantic cable from. Valentia is a fisherman's paradise. You get lots of shark and plenty of big cod, skate. I don't know whether you know skate. Yeah? And ray and all sorts of fish.
Betty, Ray's going to tell us about the Skellig Islands, which are off in the distance.
And we may see the great Skellig Rocks. And they're called the Great Skelligs. You have a small Skellig, and then you have the large one, which is the Skellig Michael. And it's just an enormous mass of rock which goes to the height of just over 700 feet above sea level. And on the Skellig rock are the ruins of a settlement built by early Christian monks. And there's a small church on the island and a larger church, probably dating back to around the 10th century. And there are 2 oratories, and there are numerous like beehive cells, and this is where the monks would have lived. They're small little cells where one monk would live, and they're built in the shape of a beehive with rock.
Betty, do you notice how the topography changes here in just a matter of a few miles or kilometers there?
Yeah, I was especially impressed by the absence of trees. Now here we see some trees, but
Those were planted,
those
I
were
think,
planted,
yeah.
but there wasn't really much forestation.
No, well, as you get into the area that seems to be a little rockier, then the trees just seem to sort of disappear. But there has been a lot of reforestation in Ireland, and of course, as we'd mentioned on earlier programs, we did pass a little bit ago some peat fields there, and we're going to see some more here shortly. But that Ireland at one time was covered with a lot of vegetation,
That's
a lot of
right.
trees and things that...
Well, the climate is conducive to that. By the way, when we passed the cemetery, did you notice the cemetery? You know, the cemetery is always easy to find in any town that you go. Do you know why?
Yes, I do know why.
Oh,
Because
you're
it's
no-
the dead center of town.
You're just no fun at all. I mean, that was my story, and I resent you. You'll be
Monsignor
sorry.
told me that. Monsignor told
Well,
me that.
Monsignor got it from Hal Roach.
Is that?
So, yeah. So
Who's
it's
a
made the
famous
rounds.
Irish comedian.
It's made the rounds.
This is a nice little stop where we were, and this was a favorite of one of our movie stars. I say ours, he was British by birth.
But he was still a very famous actor in California, New York, United States, whatever. Huh?
All over the world. And of
Yes.
course, you're speaking about Charlie Chaplin, who used to spend a lot of vacations with his family here. Speaking about vacations, look, there are a lot of people that are stopping there just to either take pictures, and some, I guess, to camp. I guess you could probably camp there,
Well,
too.
there he is. But you know, Marv, I wasn't impressed with this area at all.
Well,
It
you
wouldn't-
like more trees.
I like more trees, but I like a sandy beach, and I
Uh-huh.
like a little bit more. Yeah, I mean it.
Well,
was, I'm
different-
not going there, so that's
different
all right.
strokes for different
That's
folks.
right. That's right.
And some pictures there in the lounge, which they call the Chaplin Lounge, to commemorate the many holidays which Mr. Chaplin and his family spent at the Butler Arms Hotel. He was not out there in his tent.
No, of course not. Of course not.
The Butler Arms Hotel, very, very interesting
but look
place.
at the rocks here.
Yeah. Well, this was further on up the road, and we came to a mountain pass, and this is looking just on one side of it. I was though, Betty, impressed with this. Even though there's a lot of green and there aren't many trees there, you know, and it is so rocky, there's still enough vegetation for the sheep and for the goats there.
There's something lonesome about that area. It just kind of gets to you because of, I don't know, just expanses of water and
Yes,
soil.
and of course, and we were there on sunny days, and
Yes.
you can imagine now if the fog set in and
Yes.
how kind of eerie and mysterious it must
Of
be.
course, perhaps because of the locale of the potato famine. Maybe that's what makes me feel that way.
And you're right. This was exactly the area, the center of the area where the potato famine was. And as you can see some of the old, as Ray would say, the derelict houses.
Yes.
And I asked him while we were there, I said, Ray, now these people, of course, they couldn't farm except for the potatoes, I guess, during the potato
No,
famine.
but-
But look, they were right next to the seashore. Why couldn't they go out there and fish? And he said, because the English would not allow the Irish to fish right
Yeah.
there in their own waters. It was against the law. And it was a capital offense.
Yes, they would have been killed if they had been fishing.
Can you imagine
yes. No, let them die, but
Yeah.
don't let them fish.
Well,
So it was
thank
tough.
God those times are gone.
Yes, yes.
But I was impressed with this because there was so much vegetation even through these rocks. But anyway, we got a shot up here of the fences up here. Now these, of course, are just a lot of the stones that were stacked up there without any mortar in them. But
Well, they didn't have any trouble getting stones or rocks for their fences. It's obvious it was all around them.
all around them. And
Yes.
in fact, that's why I was wondering why they imported those from England, the
Well,
ballast
they
in
needed
the
the
ship.
ballast, though, you see, to bring it over. So that
Oh,
was
I guess
why.
so. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's like carrying coals to Newcastle.
Oh, did you do that?
No. That's well. We stopped for lunch, of course, and the view again was magnificent. Did you have lunch here?
No, I'm not really much of a lunch eater, but I went around and I sampled a few of the delicacies that the people were eating. And then I was really sorry that I didn't get the crab because I'm very fond of crab.
Ah, the crab looked good. There were
Yeah.
also some fancy desserts that some of our adventurers were partaking of as well.
Well, I could leave the desserts. That would never bother me. But, oh, that crab looked wonderful.
Well, how about a beer?
Oh, yeah, I'll have that, too.
There's a soft shell crab. Oh,
As
that
you
does
see,
look good.
somebody else thought it was good, huh?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, we certainly couldn't complain about our meals in Ireland because they were absolutely magnificent. Great big breakfasts, and then, of course, whatever you'd like for lunch, and wonderful choices also for dinner.
Betty, we should remind everybody that we are going back to Ireland in July.
July 11th to be exact. Absolutely. I can't wait.
I can't either. I'll tell you, just looking at these pictures again, it just really makes you want to get in the
yeah.
airplane and go right away.
We've
doesn't
had
it?
lots of phone calls about our show, but people that have seen this and want to go, and so I think this is going to be full before we leave for
Right.
New Zealand.
So you better give Betty a call right away, if you will, so that you can join us. Please do it right away. I thought this was interesting, Betty. Here is a fellow waiting for the mail, and
Yeah, I can't understand just exactly what that container is on the back of the tractor.
It's to haul his dog in.
Ah, come on. It looks too small to be of much use.
Oh, I'm sure that he probably moves rocks from here to there.
Maybe
huh?
so.
Yeah, the
Maybe
postman
so.
arrived. How
Yeah.
about that?
The postman cometh.
And this, again, of course, was just a very picturesque place. No wonder they built a restaurant there.
Yes. Well, of course, the view alone.
That's
would
what I say.
suffice,
Yeah,
sure.
the view is spectacular.
uh-huh.
And again, we were very fortunate that we had some beautiful, wonderful sunny days to make our trip to Ireland.
Marv, what are those boats out there? Are those commercial fishermen out, do you
I think so,
suppose?
Betty. Yeah, I think this the local village people out there commercially fishing.
The remains of a ringed fort. You see it over there on the right? And that fort would have been used, going back to the Viking days. It there now. And you can see where the remains of another one is there, just on your right. Just on the right of that one.
I keep forgetting that the Norsemen and the Vikings did come down into Ireland. I remember that they, went into England in that area, but I'd forgotten that they also came into Ireland. Probably some of my ancestors there.
Now, there's my idea of a beach, you see, with the sand. If
Ah,
I were
yes.
Charlie Chaplin, I would have come down here.
Well, maybe he did.
Maybe he did. That's
it
right.
wasn't too
that
terribly far away.
wasn't.
That's right. Ray explained to us that this beach is very safe for children because there's not much of an undertow there for it to be dangerous, I should say.
Because we don't see any lifeguards sitting up there like we do on
Nope,
our beaches,
nope.
do we?
I
huh?
guess not. Although they may have been there. Who knows? I don't know. But it was a
Well.
nice place, a nice sunny day. These guys were doing the Ring of Kerry the hard way,
Oh,
on
yeah, my gosh.
foot. Well, let's be on our way again.
And it always reminds me of something that would be in it. With the trees and all going up to it there. Yeah, it always reminds me of a house that would be haunted.
Really, I think we should explain that this Ring of Kerry does take a good afternoon to go through because it's over 100 miles. And we go inland and then we're out there by the sea again and then we'll be up by the lakes and right here with an Irish traffic jam.
Yes, we see a lot of sheep. And you say you saw a lot of lamb on the menus.
Yeah.
And I'm not really aware that we had that much of a choice, but I'm sure you'd know
Oh,
more
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
there were-
eating than I would.
There were. Oh, this town is very interesting. This is the town of Sneem. And Ray kept telling us the whole time, he says, now save your money. Don't shop all the way along. He says, save your money. Because this place here, especially this co-op craft shop, had very, very low prices.
Yes, but
This was
nobody
a bargain.
listened to
Nobody,
him. He bought it.
I
He
know,
bought
including
before,
myself.
including you. Yes.
I had purchased a sweater in a store that was on sale, and that was up in Dublin, and then came down here and it was half price.
Sure, sure. Well, he was
Half
right.
price.
So next
That's right.
year we will remember that
That's
and
exactly
tell our
right.
people. Yes.
Yeah, because here's some other people doing the Ring of Kerry on bicycles, and as we say, a lot of people do it by car, by bus, by bicycle, and some people walking, as we
This-
saw a little bit ago.
This was a very interesting little stop. You could have had your tea. You could have gone in and had at the pub and had a beer, or you could have spent all your money on the clothes and things that you might want to buy.
That's true. This is the view from the bridge as you enter the town. In fact, somebody down there swimming, it looks like.
Now, Marv, I was under the impression that that looks like a river to me going into, but you said no, these are all just a series of little lakes.
No, the lakes are kind of interconnected by little rivers, yeah, and we're going to go to a larger lake here in just a few moments.
Take a look at the way that bridge is made. Look at the size of those rocks.
Yep, and I love the colors of the buildings here too. Look at the chemist shop. It's kind of a mustard color. Now we're leaving the town, and I got this shot here so that we could see the differences in the older buildings, like you see right there, and then we'll be coming up to some newer ones too. And in some of these older buildings, those rooms are very, very tiny.
Sure.
Very, very tiny, and I imagine that, and you see there's fireplaces on either side because they're burning the peat there, and the fireplaces are really kind of thin. Now here's a new building, as you see right there.
I noticed the ones that we had seen before look something like the places in San Francisco where they're one on top of the other,
Right.
not on top, but right next to one another, narrow and tall.
Well, that's how they're certainly built there in Ireland. We're going to go in just a little bit. We're going to sort of end our show today going to a pub in Killarney. But first, before we get there, we're going up through another gap. This is Mall's Gap, way
Yes.
up high in the mountains again.
I don't know the significance of that. Do you, Marv? Where it got the name Mall's Gap?
I'm sorry, I really don't remember.
Yeah.
No, I
It
don't
must
remember.
have some significance. I don't remember it either.
Well, we'll have to go back and
there
refresh
is
our memory.
But there certainly is a big gap there.
Yes, indeed, and on either side of that mountain pass, you get some beautiful vistas there. As I said, we're going to go to a pub when we get back to Killarney because we started in Killarney on the Ring of Kerry, and we'll end up there too. And it was very interesting to me, Betty, because just as we were getting situated in the pub, and it's one of the sing-song pubs, as Ray
Yeah.
would say, and Ray's going to sing for us on this show too. I happened to be setting up the camera there, and all of a sudden, this is the most amazing thing to me, here in walked two of my friends from Fresno who I hadn't seen for a long
Oh,
time.
the astonishment on his face was something else again. We
That's
all got
right.
a big bang out of
Right.
that. That
Ed
was
and Bonnie
nice.
Sturgeon happened to walk in through those doors, and that was just a real delight.
Oh, home week. Hmm?
Yeah, can you imagine that anywhere in the world? Oh, here is a view now from the other side of the gap, and look at that goes way down into that valley.
Isn't
and
that
here,
lovely?
Here's one of the lakes there, Betty. In now this is Killarney Park, which is a national park there in Ireland, and we continue down through that park all the way into Killarney as we follow the lakes through there. Well, now let's go to the pub. Are you all set for some music?
I'm ready.
Okay, and away we go.
The Chanel 49 group, all the way from California, traveling all the way.
Chanel 49.
Daddy kid. Look at there's Mary and Joe Ryan.
In the
Good
background,
sports
yes.
they are. They were the first ones up on the dance floor.
Now watch, the MC's going to get Bonnie Sturgeon up here to sing and dance. Well, Bonnie was a good sport.
And so was Helen Winsler.
Yes,
Look at her up
she's
there
a good
performing.
Will I sit down here for a while?
Just get up. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray's going to eat you all. And Ray is going to...
Happy use to tell them, yeah, this one doesn't work.
The one you want tape is what I'd say,
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray's going to sing for you.
What am I going to sing?
He's going to sing a little song called What Am I Going to Sing? Okay, so especially for you in the key of...
What do you call it, F?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Stewart. Take the tone, you gotta put the tone right out.
Talk about a duet. I'm here that longer than I might start eating them. It's lucky they're not white at the top. I won't shake it, Fred, now. I'm not able.
Now, Ray is going to sing a little song that was requested earlier this evening. It's a song called How Can You Buy Killarney? How Can You Buy Killarney?
An American landed on Erin's green isle. He gazed at Killarney with rapturous smile. How can I buy it? He said to his guide. Well, I'll tell you how. With a smile he replied. How can you buy all the stars in the sky? How can you buy two blue Irish eyes? How can you purchase a fond mother's smile? How can you buy Killarney? Nature bestowed all her gifts with a smile. The emerald, the shamrock, the blarney. When you can buy all those wonderful things, then you can buy Killarney. Holy God. I think I'll come back here next week.